In the orphanage, a peculiar little boy appeared. His appearance resembled that of a zombie, and he had a volatile temperament. What's most terrifying is that he can transform into any likeness you desire. On that day, Tom and his wife, who had lost their own son 2 years prior, decided to adopt a child from the orphanage. When Jenny arrived in the yard, she saw a group of people surrounding a little boy. Overwhelmed by her motherly instincts, Jenny walked over. With just a single glance, she became fond of this child and reached out her hands to this eerie little boy. As she softly called out to him, the boy hesitated for 2 seconds and then leaped into Jenny's embrace. Jenny, as if possessed, insisted on adopting this peculiar little boy. They both then returned home, together the necessary paperwork for the adoption. However, on their way back, strange things began to occur. Jenny caught sight of the little boy halfway through the journey, and she was overjoyed, feeling that it was fate. So she brought him home. Upon arriving home, their pet cat seemed displeased with the boy, constantly shouting and yelling at him. Tom tried to approach and comfort the little boy, but he struggled fiercely until Jenny picked him up, and only then did he calm down. Tom felt that the boy, despite growing up, couldn't speak and suspected he had autism. So the next day, they took him to the square to play with other children. Due to his peculiar appearance and inability to speak, the other children bullied him. In a fit of rage, he transformed his face and pounced on his tormentor, leaving the child disabled from the attack. What's even more horrifying is that in the evening, the boy was caught stealing and eating raw meat from the refrigerator. This adorable little boy is no ordinary child. Once he locks his gaze on someone, they unconsciously fall in love with him. There was a woman who instantly liked him at first sight, and after hesitating for 2 seconds, the little boy leaped into her arms. Ever since they adopted this boy, strange occurrences began happening in Jenny's household. One night, Tom went to the bathroom in the middle of the night and discovered that the refrigerator door was open. When he checked the bathroom, he found the boy stealing and eating raw meat from the fridge. Tom quickly rushed forward to stop him, but to his surprise, the boy fiercely bit him. Tom was on the verge of hitting him, but Jenny persuaded him, saying that the child was still young and unaware, perhaps just hungry, so Tom let him go. The next day, Tom became more and more uneasy, prompting him to seek a doctor to examine the boy. The doctor concluded that the boy's walking on all fours and constant roaring might be related to his previous exposure to domesticated animals. The boy's lack of hair was due to malnutrition and delayed development. The doctor advised them to observe him for a while longer, but Jenny believed that the child was perfectly normal and left with him in her arms. In the afternoon, the little boy went out to play with other kids. However, due to his peculiar appearance and inability to speak, he became a target for bullying. In a fit of anger, he transformed his face and pounced on one of the children, causing injury by biting them. This series of events frightened Tom, but fortunately, upon returning home, his wife announced some good news: she was pregnant. The arrival of this child brought immense joy to the couple, but the presence of the little boy in the corner with his cold gaze instilled fear in everyone. The woman was getting an X-ray of the baby in her belly, and the boy beside her was watching the baby inside his mother's belly. He angrily slapped his mother's stomach and then turned away. As they were heading home together, the boy tightly gripped the handlebars of a bicycle and dashed towards Jenny at an incredible speed. Fortunately, Tom arrived just in time and protected Jenny and their unborn child. The persistent child, however, kept on going. While Jenny was having her meal, she discovered a steel needle in her food, and the boy sitting across from her revealed a bizarre expression. This frightened Jenny to the extent that it could be compared to your smartphone's third watch. Meanwhile, Tom was at the orphanage investigating the boy's background. After persistent questioning from Tom, the orphanage director finally revealed the truth. It turned out that the boy was an undead creature who could transform into the likeness of anyone to gain their affection. However, if he sensed that he was not loved, he would kill that person and seek out a new target. Upon learning this, Tom hurriedly ran back home, but it was too late. When he arrived, Jenny lay in a pool of blood, and even their unborn child did not survive. The boy was quietly playing with toys nearby. In the evening, Tom added some juice to sleeping pills, deceitfully claiming it to be the favorite flavor of their deceased son. Without much thought, the boy drank it all. Carrying him in a deep slumber, Tom went to the orphanage and asked the nun to transform the troublesome child into a ghost. Through an incantation, the boy transformed into various appearances.